Good day, everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope you're all well, feeling groovy, realizing the government does not love you, and also realizing that pretty much everything you've been told since the day you were born is a lie. It is July the 13th of 2025, 9:19 a.m. Mr. Buzz coming to you from the communist shithole known as Ontario, Canada. And I'm going to talk about population decline, collapse actually, and the irony of that, because all we hear is that the population is too large and we need to be culled. Well, that is not true at all. That is completely false. When they say that, what they should be saying is we're a bunch of freak transhumanist weirdos who have toys that are way too intense and powerful for our intelligence level to handle, and we think we can create this new species of man and machine and get rid of regular humans altogether. That's what they should say. It's a matter of getting rid of undesirables and only having remaining people who are desirable for them to merge with machines, put chips in them and create this dystopian hellscape where nothing's actually fully human anymore. Everything is part machine as well. They're transhumanists. They're crazy. So they're doing this in several ways. First of all, they have molded people's thinking into a mindset where marriage and having children is the worst thing ever. So if you suggest to a young woman, that she should get married and have children, she's like, I'm not doing that. She doesn't want nothing to do with that. She may have had 5-6 abortions by the time she's 25 years old. They don't even they think of abortion as birth control. A lot of them. That's literally how they view going and killing their baby. So that's one of the ways. They made marriage almost a thing of the past. And if people do get married, well, they make sure they get divorced. And believe me, they have ways to do that. They drive wedges between the two genders. Social media is a very powerful tool for them. And they've got everybody convinced that trad is bad. Trad is just traditional values, marriage, children, all that stuff. Serving your divine purpose is bad in their books. So then we have forced sterilization. Now, everybody knows about pokey pokes, for sure. I've talked about those enough on here. Well, there were very different batches of that going around. I've heard up to 12 distinctly different pokey pokes. Depends on the population that was getting them. Some people, there might even be pokey pokes that actually work and do improve your immune system and don't harm you. I think there are, but only certain people would get those. For most people, the pokey pokes had a sterilizing quality to them. And this is clearly seen now in studies that they're doing. Birth rates in the pokey poked. If you've been pokey poked, and I think it's also males, they've got some way to lower sperm counts and stuff, but it's mostly they attack the females with this. Either they have a harder time actually getting pregnant, or they miscarry after they're pregnant. Both are happening. Both contribute to lower birth rate. Now, here's the really frightening part of this for regular people, like Western people like myself. Not really myself, because I'm past, marriage and children. I've been married twice and divorced twice. I won't be doing that no more. But regular Western people in this part of the world, white people, Christians. So while our birth rate is somewhere around 1.6, and you got to realize that it takes at least a birth rate of 2 to replace the existing people. Okay, a couple needs to have 2 children just to replace themselves. If they have less than 2, they only have 1, they haven't replaced themselves. So they're contributing to the population decline. We need a birth rate of like 3.5 or 4 or something in order to really do well. But we're not even close to that. It's like 1.6. That's real trouble. However, in the Muslim population, that birth rate is well over 3. So this means as we are declining with 1.6, that means we're definitely on a big decline. That's disastrous birth rate for us. But the Muslims at 3 point something, I forget the exact number, but it's over 3. It's still not the perfect birth rate for them, but 2 is how you replace the existing people. So over 3, yeah, they're going to survive a while. And outnumber us before very long. Now, this is all the eugenics crowd, okay? This is, if you prefer one group of people over the other, well, you convince everyone they need this pokey poke, but only the undesirable people will get the sterilizing one. And that's what they've done here. That's what they've done. That's why the Muslims still have a pretty favorable birth rate. And that's why the rest of us don't. Because they're very selective how they hand out that pokey poke. Because I've heard so many people say, but why would they do that? Because then everybody's going to suffer with... No. Very, very specific batches for very, very specific people. Watch John Campbell. Dr. John Campbell is, as far as this stuff goes, he is the man on YouTube. He's got 3 point some million subscribers. He's known all over the world now. He's got a very successful channel. I'm surprised they've let him go, actually. He has had to be very careful with how he speaks. And I think he did have some legal battles with YouTube and stuff, but he's managed to survive, and he's still there. And he had someone on yesterday, this woman, as a study out of the Czech Republic. It's the only place where you can actually get data like this. The other countries will not allow it. It's being stopped, being blocked. Because it proves that certain batches of the pokey pokes are causing birth rates to decline in a big way. Okay? The elites will convince you there's too many people, we can't feed everybody, we can't make that much food, blah, 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 blah. The population is going to collapse in a big way. And once you have a population collapse, you're heading for extinction. That's the truth. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this. That's how it works. And right now, human beings are on a collision course with extinction. Indeed. Something has to change real fast, or we're not long and we'll be gone. At least regular humans will be gone. They literally want to take the remaining people and the singularity, they say, the merging of man and machine. It's already happening. They're putting chips in people. They got these tattoos. The mark of the beast has been revealed. I did a video on that maybe a week ago. There's a tattoo with electronics, wires in the tattoo. Tiny, tiny technology, right? Really small. Looks like a regular tattoo. It's actually a little receiver, and transmitter. Crazy stuff. It's the mark of the beast. Without it, you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. Transhumanism. Elon Musk and his Neuralink chip. All of that stuff is under the umbrella of transhumanism. They don't want us regular humans anymore. We're no good. So they are literally causing a population collapse on purpose. That's how they're calling us. If they wanted humanity to continue, this would be the opposite of the way to do it. It's very clear they don't want us to continue. They might leave some of themselves as... They'll get the choice if they want to be regular humans or not. But I don't think any of them will choose that. I think they're all transhumanists. They want to merge themselves with machine, and they want to be, they want to be as smart as AI. And the only way to do that is to merge with AI. But you also lose your humanity. Now, right now, people are surmising and guessing, hypothesizing, whatever, that AI is actually, there's trapped souls in things that when you're, it's hard to explain. People believe that they've taken souls, trapped them in silicone, basically, in something, and AI is actually these souls, or at least a part of what drives AI is the souls. I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all. The Bible speaks of how people will long for death, but it will not come. It's exactly what it sounds like, being trapped in something, and you're trapped there forever, can never get out. A lot of people are going to volunteer for this merge. I strongly urge people not to do that. Because once they trap you in something like that, you might be stuck there forever with no control over it, no escape. It terrifies me. My soul is my soul, and they can't have it. Treat your soul the same way. Do not give them access to it. I think that's what a lot of this transhumanist stuff is. Trapping your soul into something forever. So that's sort of a side note to the population decline. But they will continue to say that there's too many people and we need to lower the population. Billy Boy been going around for years, giving TED Talks and everything. Well, we do a good job on vaccines and this and that. We get the population down this many percent. I mean, he said it right out. Then he tried to backtrack later and say, well, no, I just mean the vaccines make people healthier, and because they make people healthier, they can have less children. Because when they're not healthy, all their children die, blah, blah, blah. And he come up with this crazy, weird, circular logic, completely beyond stupid. No, Billy Boy, that's not what you meant. You said the quiet part out loud, and now you're trying to correct yourself. That's what they always do. So the pokey pokes are the biggest part of this. But they've been poisoning us in every way. The food, in the air, they're spraying chemicals everywhere. There's nanotubes in gasoline, so every bit of exhaust that comes out of a vehicle, there's nanotubes you're sucking in your body. There's a million ways that they're keeping our lifespans low, keeping people sick. They can give you cancer. They can give you anything they want. Cancer is actually like a CIA weapon. If they want to kill somebody slowly, that's usually their preferred way. They have ways to give you cancer. They can give you a pair of shoes, and there's a little tiny thing in the bottom of it that just pricks you a little bit when you put them on and infects you with cancer. That's how they got Bob Marley. The CIA operative who killed Bob Marley confessed that on his deathbed. He's dead now, but just before he died, He's like, I got something to tell the world. It was me who killed Bob Marley. The CIA sent me there with a pair of shoes to give him as a gift. And the gift gave him cancer. I swear that you can look that up. That's what the guy claimed, and then he died. Deathbed confessions, they're usually true. Actually, they may always be true. So, we don't need to reduce the population. We need to increase the birth rate, or we're done for. And the only thing that'll be left on this earth are some sort of half man, half machine kind of deal with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and all these transhumanist freaks tweaking you and changing you and programming you, and I want nothing to do with that, that's for sure. I'm a human being. The Lord made me a human being, and I'm staying a human being. I recommend you do too. So that's all I have to say today about the population decline and the irony of it. Don't listen to the elites. We don't have too many people. We have too low of a birth rate. So turn to the Lord while there's still time, and remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.